What is happening, AMG family? Welcome to the AMG Podcast. It's your guy, Mondo Grimes, here on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Actually, today is Good Friday. With that said, I'm bringing on my good friends, my good pals, my great associates, my friends, Larry Woods, Travis Helm, AJ Lavender. What is up, fellas? Happy Good Friday, man.
Happy Good Friday. Happy Good Friday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Woods? What's happening, man? You got a different background. You traveling the world, Ohio world.
Yes. No, team, I am not in witness protection, nor am I in an interrogation room.
Okay, it kind of looks that way, but it's all right. Me too, though. So that's all right. That's all right. Good stuff, man. T-Rav over there with the sun shining on him. What's happening, man?
It's a beautiful day. Beautiful here in Raleigh. Weather's getting nice. Can't complain.
I love it. I love it, man.
Beautiful day today so far. Good weekend coming up. Glad it's Good Friday.
Yeah. Looking good, man. Bright eye and bushy tail ready to conquer the day.
Oh, yeah.
So is AJ after a night of breaking ankles on the basketball court. What's up?
Right.
What's happening? Yeah. Good stuff, man. Well, hey, I'm glad to be back with you fellas, man, to chop it up, grow, learn together, have a great conversation. Today, peeps, we have a pretty cool video. We're going to chop it up. It's about money. Surprise, right? Surprise. It's about money, and we're gonna let my man speak for itself, and the video speak for itself, and we're gonna chop it up, have a good time. Definitely, if you have some thoughts, comments, or whatever, hit us up. We can bring it up on future episodes and chat it up with it, even on a personal level. But anyway, let's get to it. AJ, what you got, man?
All right.
Let's have some fun. This guy, I like this guy. He was cool as a cucumber too. Watch, you'll see. Super, super cool.
$20.
What?
So it's $20 on the table.
Okay.
What do you think the $20 note thinks of you?
Nothing. It's just money. It's just a piece of paper.
Of course.
Right.
It can't think. It's a piece of paper with 20 written on it.
Sure.
It's a commodity. It doesn't think. It's a commodity that's used to transact for goods and services to satisfy wants and needs. The problem with it, with most people, what they don't understand is that all the problems with money exist with them,
Sure.
not with the money. The money doesn't think anything of you. So whether it's $20, $100, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter. Because $1 million or $100,000 or $10,000 is just a whole bunch of 20s that think nothing of you. So there's no difference except monetary value. It's having emotional barriers, because the more money I put down on the table, the more you think of it, because you think automatically of what it can buy you to satisfy wants and needs.
Right.
The key is to be indifferent. Understanding the function of money is very important in order to respect money. But at the same time, you also have to reduce to zero your emotional barriers, and you have to be indifferent. How can you actually be respectful of money, but at the same time be indifferent? Respect in this context is simply having awareness.
Yeah.
So it's having awareness of what money actually is and being indifferent to money when you look at it, when you see more and more and more of it. And that's the key.
Man, we're getting a little deep this morning. Getting a little deep. Oh, this is good, man. This is so good. Not the flashiest video that we reviewed. Not the most, I guess, probably hot topics, AJ, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna start with you, Woods, because you sent this over for me to check out. This unpack, because if you're watching something, you make it a point to send it. It's hitting you some sort of way.
Yes, absolutely.
Unpack that, man.
So what attracted me to it mainly was we've had a handful of clients come our way, right, with a different mindset or a different approach to how they want to grow their money. Mm-hmm. But their mindset has actually brought them to a brick wall from crossing over into this other world of growing money that they've never heard of, that they're never used to.
Mm,
I think we have coined it the middle class wall.
mm. Yeah.
Right, you're at the end of your middle class and you're trying to leap over into another realm of how you grow your money.
Mm.
So when he says that this money is not a thing, it's you have to pull your emotional barriers off the money. He's exactly right. That's that dopamine level we always talk about. You have to
Right.
reduce that to zero in
Right.
order to get to the next level. It is a commodity. It's
Mm.
not a person. It's a thing with no heartbeat.
Mm.
So the
Reduce
mindset you must have to reach the goals that most people want to reach, this is the way you have to think.
that. Isn't that fascinating, Travis? Reduce to zero so you can go to the next level. Reduce, decrease so that I might increase. That sounds familiar, right? Well,
Absolutely.
that sounds familiar. It's so interesting to me because that emotional barrier, being so emotionally attached to that piece of paper. I can't tell you honestly, man. I don't know. Y'all can speak for yourself, fellas. I don't know one person that's financially straight, doing really, really well, that is super emotional about money.
hmm
I don't know one person that like is super emotional about money and yet they're doing very well. It's like that's incongruent. It doesn't even go together.
Well, the reason why, from what I've seen just from just like years of this different network and everything like that, especially with the middle class families, is that as he was talking about, money is a piece of paper and a bunch of wants and needs. However, with the middle class, what is inherently tied to that money? It's not necessarily just the paper. It's not necessarily just the wants and needs, but it's a representation of their time that they spent, right? So
Correct.
like, a lot of the times, you're working 9 to 5. The money of $20 is a representation of 8 hours of your own time. So over time, that money in the bank is not just a monetary value, that's life spent. And I think that's the emotional trigger of it being like, it's not just a thing, is what I use my time that's, as we all know, is inherently invaluable for this. So I think that's the reason why is that emotional trigger. Like, it's not just the money of it, it's just the time I spent in order to get that. And I
It's a
think that's
reminder of the trade-off you've made.
exactly. And somehow, and then of course there's sometimes down regret of it. Like, I don't want to spend it because, as people say, oh, I just wasted a full days of work for this when they purchase something.
Interesting.
That's very powerful, AJ. And you say that, and on the other side of that coin is we already know where the money is. So when the market takes a lot of that money away from them, they get the same dopamine effect instead of taking action.
Yeah.
Because the mindset is still, let me work more to make it up, or leave it where it is and hope it comes back.
Work more or hope.
Correct.
Work more or hope. Trav, jump in on this, man, before I start preaching.
I mean, I think that's the American ideology, is that, like AJ was saying, money's tied to your time. So you're either going to work more, or you're going to hope that you're going to hit the lotto, that your numbers are going to be right this week, or whatever the case. But that is the majority of Americans are middle class. Like,
Right.
this country is built on the middle class. So it's the majority of the mindset is exactly that our time is our money. And, the only way that we're going to get more money is to either put in time or get lucky. Yep. And, I think that we see this bridge between people because there are clients who aren't thinking like that because they are in another level. And then there are clients who are still in that same level and that same mindset. And, a lot of times in the middle class, like, the only way out is if you hit big. That's really the mindset around, like, how would I even escape this, like, giving my time over for money? And the truth is, you just aren't using the right tools and playing the right games.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gotta start taking notes because y'all hit me with all kind of thoughts, with all kind of stuff. Seriously, man. It made me think, as you guys were talking, it made me think about a lot of different wonderful individuals, excuse me if I can get it out, wonderful individuals that we've met and talked to and helped. And Larry, you're right. It's that middle class barrier. Is that what you called it? The what you coined, the
middle class wall.
Middle class wall. And it's okay. So for instance, there are individuals who have maxed out the middle class vehicles. What are those? Your retirement vehicles that you typically get at a W-2. So your 401ks and 403bs, like you're maxing those opportunities out, right? You've maxed out the contributions on your IRAs and things like that. And you're really hitting full tilt and you're getting matches on your 401k, all that stuff. Which is fine. But that's not going to get you to the next level. It's going to help you max out the level you're at. If that. So what we try to educate some of our clients, to Larry's point, is how to get to that next level. You've got to start adopting new thought processes, new vehicles, new opportunities, new strategies, less fear. Did I say that loud? Less fear. And what's that whole thing? Scary money don't make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And get out of this mindset of, well, let me just stay right here, and I'm gonna just hope it, just hope it grows. The hope factor. Now I'm gonna go hard in the paint real quick. I'm gonna go hard real fast. I'm gonna bring y'all in. I'm gonna drag you in, Larry. Okay.
I'm already in the paint, but come on.
Yeah, true.
Mike Tyson 1-rounder. Here we go.
So here's the thing. Let's say you're an individual, like a lot of our families, like middle class, full tilt, middle class. You're doing your thing. You're maxing out all opportunities, and you're doing pretty good, man. Like you've done a lot better than your parents did, a lot better than when you were growing up. And it's like, man, you're doing really well. Okay, awesome. What's interesting is a common mindset that we've seen. This particular sector of individuals, they've gotten the achievement and the money at their particular level, but for some reason they seem to have an issue with these two words: life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think that acquiring and being so attached to the $20 bill,
Yeah.
and you've acquired so many $20 bills, and you're experiencing these $20 bills. I'm gonna repeat that. And you are experiencing, you and your family, like that live with you in the house, are experiencing these $20 bills.
Yeah.
And the idea of taking these same $20 bills and putting it into something that you will never experience unless you have some living benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But for most people to hear life insurance, they think that's great, but that's not for me. That's for my family. So I'm gonna pump the brakes on that because I don't get to experience that. They do.
Mhm.
So then we wonder why in certain cultures, why there's very little transfer of wealth. The easiest way, Travis, to set your family up to really kickstart them in the wealth realm is literally an insurance policy. Like, think about it. If somebody told you for $99.99 a month, infomercial Woods,
Yeah, there you go.
your family can have 7 figures plus when you die. Just call this number, 1-800 life insurance or whatever.
Well, that's how it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Just get on the hotline.
Wait a second. My family can have $1 million plus if I spend whatever age, health, whatever, $50, $100, $100, $200, $300 a month. I can ensure that my loved ones, now I don't get to necessarily experience that particular millions and millions of dollars, but I can set up the generations to come with 7 figures plus by just investing. I mean, think about that margin, that will return, AJ.
Mm-hmm. You're a chain breaker.
But what we find, check it. Ooh, all right, here we go. Woods. The people that we tend to meet with who are in the middle of the middle class and the lower middle class seem to understand that a lot more than the individuals who are in the upper end of middle class. That part, I wish I could unpack it and understand it, but I really don't understand it. To me, it's the most bass-ackwards thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I can touch on it.
Go ahead. What you got?
I have an idea.
Okay.
Because they're at that barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So that means to them, they've done everything right. They've done everything correctly. Right. So their way of doing things work. So they can keep doing things this way, and it works for them because they're at the top of their tax bracket, middle class barrier, whatever. They're at the top. They've done it right. They've done it correctly, and their way works. This is why this mindset can't get over to the next level, because they think that same mindset is going to get them to the next level.
Whoa.
Versus the people under them. Yes.
That dude, you just hit it. Don't
versus the people under them that's trying to get to the level even where they're at. They're game for open all the doors. I want to see what's behind all the doors because I'm trying to get there as well. So that's the mindset.
Yeah.
And I think the tools that a lot of middle class people use to get to where they're at are usually the tools of budgeting. Like they're really good at budgeting. So they're really good at making their dollar stretch. So then when they're looking at when they're looking at a monthly payment that then is going to go and, they're going to need to do it for some time to then contribute to this thing. They, I think I noticed a lot of clients are like, well, they're trying to budget too hard. They're not seeing that if you are going to use your dollar differently than what you're used to, this is how it's going to expand. Because in this market, you're not necessarily trying to penny pinch, you're trying to create longevity.
Yeah.
And that's a different mindset, the longevity, because when you're really good at budgeting, you can make month to month, year to year really work out. You can make it work in your favor. But when you're looking at legacy and you're looking at wealth and generational wealth and things like that, it's a completely different mindset because you're not just going to budget your money. You're going to take your money and put it into tools that are going to expand the money.
And that's the part that I think some individuals struggle with. So if you're listening to this and we're poking at you a little bit, or maybe someone that might be poked if they heard us talking this way, good. Because our whole goal is to stretch the mindset and help individuals. It's like, look, you can get to the next level, but there's some stuff that has to change up here and how you view money. I love what he said, be indifferent.
Yeah.
Being indifferent, which means detach your time that you spent to earn that dollar, that emotional tug, detach yourself from it. You have to be indifferent. Yes, you traded hours for dollars. Now that you have the dollars, cut it. Quit being emotionally attached to it in that sense. Because all your decisions are going to be filtered through what, AJ? Emotions. Here's another thing that doesn't make sense to me. And I would love for anyone to kick back at me at this. The vehicles of, the 401ks and different plans like that, right? Okay, they are what they are and they're good for what they do. They're not designed to take you to the next level. They're not designed to take you to the next level. I'm going to say that 50 more times. They're not designed to take you to the next level. They're designed to keep you where you're at. And they're designed to give you a sense of security, I didn't say give you security, give you a sense of security while you're being killed on the tax side, while your money's in jail till you're 60. Now you old and dusty and don't feel like doing nothing, but you got this money sitting here to spend. Now it's time to pay taxes on it, but you're old and you want to spend it, but you got to pay taxes. You see, it's just like whoop. It's like you get to 60 and they pull the whoop-de-woo on you. Oh, by the way, the entire time up to 59 and a half of that whole time, you can only contribute so much, AJ. So how you going to get to the next level when they're telling you can only contribute so much?
Mm-hmm. And then when you don't start taking, they'll say, hey, guess what? You have to take some now.
Correct. What you said.
So we can tax you.
Yeah.
So we can tax you.
But again, and we run into individuals where it's the gospel, right? That, they've heard this from their employers and different things and all that kind of stuff. And I told you guys this before. A buddy of mine used to be an HR director at a company here in Florida. And I asked him, did you guys, at your old company, did you guys put people in 401k plans? He said, yeah, of course. I said, okay, cool. I said, you're the HR director, right? He said, I was, yeah. So how long were you there? He said, 7 years. I said, awesome. So several employees, several 401k plans. He said, yeah. I said, explain a 401k plan to me. AJ Woods, Trav, what do you think that conversation was like? He's like,
crickets, probably.
Yeah, he started sounding like Elmer Fudd, like a Porky Pig. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah,
it's like he didn't know what to say. And I was like, okay, so explain to me like the whole purpose of it. What does it do? How does it function? And he gave me the general, answer.
Mm-hmm.
What's a retirement plan? No, it's not. It's a tax code.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, see, how are you? No, I didn't get on him, but I'm thinking, how do companies put people like my friend in positions to put people in these vehicles when he doesn't know what it is? The client doesn't know what it is. The company knows what it is. Sometimes they do, but they know it's the thing to do. Why? Because the company gets tax incentivized to do it.
Mm-hmm. And comfort and compliance, just generations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you take all that I don't knows, and then we put our security in that, and that becomes the thing that's going to take us off into the sunset in my retirement, AJ. Nothing about that makes sense.
It just
Then
sounds
it's like,
good.
well, it's okay. Then the other thing is, it's like if you can do this on your own, man. You can go on any social media platform and look up those interviews with wealthy people when they say, how did you make your fortunes? How did you become successful? How did you? You don't hear anyone saying, man, my 401k blew me and my family away, bro. Like we are doing it. Like you don't hear anybody say that. Now you'll hear people talk about, a plan. They say what contributed to their wealth. It's like, I started when I was 21, investing in a particular account and blah, blah, blah. But how many people started at 21, 25, AJ?
Mm-hmm.
Very few people.
Mm-hmm.
You usually hear other things. Creative ideas, whether it be starting businesses, whether it be private investments, whether it be, real estate, whether it be different types of things that are outside of what? That barrier, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
It's being the indifferent.
Being indifferent.
It's like I don't know. If I see, let's say, Larry, you're solid middle class, and then AJ is like killing it in upper class. And I'm looking at the two. I'm A-B and both of y'all. And I'm saying both of y'all doing straight, but man, I really want to do what AJ's doing. I respect what Larry's doing, but I really want to be what AJ's doing. Let me just copy Larry.
Right.
That's what most people do.
Well, that's been instilled in most people. Going back to what Travis said, most of America is middle class.
Yep.
So those middle class strategies are passed down generation to generation. Right. And very few of them look at the strategy and maybe the company they work for and never go, well, where is the owner of the company putting his money?
For real.
Because realistically, for whoever is listening today, this is for you. For every person you can find at the top of their middle class, top of the middle class, reaching the barrier, at the barrier, we could probably, I'm pretty sure we can 100% find you somebody that's operating on a high level that's actually used life insurance to get there.
Yep. Life insurance products, different types of private investments that you can't Google.
Yes.
They're through relationships.
Yes. There's a reason why that level above the middle class is not sharing their information to everybody to the middle class. Think about why they're not. Think about why that's not public, why that's not taught in school. Just do your research and think about it.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think if somebody works for a company too, and they go into the CEO and ask, CEO's office, hey, how do you, build wealth? Typically, the answer is going to be generic investments.
Yep.
Exactly. But they're not sharing. They're not like, hey, let me connect you with my guy, because what I'd really like is for you to not have to work here and be able to, just grow your money on your own. I'd love that. No,
I've
no,
done
they
that
need
a
you to stay
handful of
professional.
times.
Mm-hmm.
And you are exactly right, Travis. I've made some investments. I do well in the market. That's all they give you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just,
Yep.
Just a couple things. Like, not very nonchalant too,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So I wish this is a dream, but I do wish that we had more people that we would meet with and come to us and say, hey, yeah, I'm looking for some assistance on growing my wealth, on assistance on protecting my assets, something customized to me. But hey, you know what, Larry? I want to know what they know. Who's they? Oh, the people who are really doing it, like with the next level outside of like the next tax bracket, the next 2 tax brackets. What are they doing? Do you know what they're doing? Can you teach me what they're doing? I'm really trying to step my game up and genuinely want to receive the information and will legitimately apply it and execute.
Yeah.
Not just hear about it, take a bunch of notes. That's awesome. So, and then he-hawing around and they don't do nothing with it. I wish there were more people that would say, I want to go to the next level. Teach me what they know. What's being talked about at the golf courses today, at the country club, on the private conversations, these little retreats, on these conversations. Well, like, who are you talking to, Mondo, at, even last night, Larry, I was telling you, we're talking to at 10:30 at night to a buddy of mine who's moving and shaking, doing all kind of stuff. And him, hey, he is indifferent. He wants that commodity, that $20 bill, to fertilize itself and make more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, I'm not saying around go be stupid and just go throw your money everywhere. Right. But it's well, I ain't heard of that, Larry. I don't know. I ain't never heard of that. To me, that is the craziest thing ever, Travis. Like, I've heard that people say, well, man, I ain't never heard of that. This is what I want to say. I can say it on the pod. I can say it here.
Mm-hmm.
I know you haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
Hello? I know you haven't. That's why we're here.
Right.
What are you talking about? I'm not surprised by that.
Or it's too good to be true. So
it's too good.
It's too good to be true. So it must not be true.
Man.
Just because you don't run into circles with people who use these tools.
Say that
it's
again.
Too good. It's too good to be true. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I had a buddy of mine I was talking to this morning, literally. And he is legitimately trying to his hardest, man, to get to that next level. And he said something that was powerful. He heard himself say it, and it was kind of, I could tell when he said it, he heard it. And he was like, you say something and it hits you, your own words hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd been getting defeated, like personally, internally, because he had been sharing these ideas about how to get to the next level to the wrong circle.
Mm.
And every time he would share, man, I'm looking to do this, and man, blah, boom, with the work or the business, and I'm gonna invest it. And then the people he was talking to weren't cut from the same cloth, and they're not cut from the same cloth. And they were like, man, why are you doing that? Ain't nobody, man, that's risky. Man, you shouldn't do that. Man, ain't nobody doing it. I ain't never heard of that. Man, I don't know, man. Like you need to, hey, I got my gig. They got this thing, that plan. You just put your money in there. I don't know what you talk. So if that's all you're hearing,
mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, hey, man, you got to change your circles, buddy. We've talked about this before. Change your circles. You need to change the numbers that are in this particular device you have.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make sure when you hit call, different kind of people are answering it. So, of course, you're going to get beat down. Because you have people talking to you that beat themselves down. What makes you think they're going to pick you up if they already beating themselves down? So a big part of it, to your point, Larry, is what? Change who you're thinking, listening to.
That's right.
I said it on one of our reels the other day, AJ. Stop listening to critics with no credentials.
Right.
I'm trying to get it, boy. But yet you listening to all the bros at the liquor store. Like, what we talking about, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know, it's like change the circles. Well, you know what? Well, I don't have a circle. One person. Start with one. Stop making excuses. One person.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, let Larry be that person to start it off. Let Travis be that person. Let myself be that person. Heck, you didn't got to talk to us. Let the podcast be the thing.
Right.
Well, shoot, nowadays you can just use some like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini, and you can talk to it and say, "Hey, I need you to be my well friend."
Get you a
My
financial
virtual
growth
BFF.
boo. Yeah, get you a BFF, a financial growth boo called ChatGPT.
Yeah,
and create you a financial relationship.
yeah. With the advanced
So-
voice.
Man, yeah, dude. Like, and it's the thing, like, where a lot of folks are so, and I've been there. It takes work to detach yourself from it.
Mhm.
But it also can help your courage in the process by hanging around like-minded people.
Yeah.
Because you think, well, if I, man, I'm gonna die if I do that. You know, I'm gonna lose everything if I do that. You know, all this other kind of mess. But when you're around the Larrys and the AJs and the Travises and others and people, you know, whoever think like similar to us or even greater, even, there's some confidence that you kind of inherit. It's you glean it off of them. It's like it just rubs off on you. Like if you play sports, Larry, you know, when you play basketball, you seem to level up when you play with people who are better than you.
Absolutely.
Same kind of deal. You get around people who think different and you see that they're not dead. They didn't lose everything. They didn't have it. You know what I mean? All the fears you have, they straight.
Right.
So then you start asking questions. I'm gonna share something with y'all. You know, one of the keys to unlock individuals to, you know, you talk about they're not sharing secrets, right? Well, somebody said that earlier, right? They're really sharing all that stuff. Okay. You know why they're not sharing it? Because you're not asking the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Not out of skepticism. Genuinely looking for help and advice. And they could tell the difference.
Yeah. When there's a
They can
service
tell
level-
if you're asking a question so you could maybe find a gap and try to challenge their way of thinking or way of life, or if you're genuinely asking because you're trying to level up and you're looking to them as a mentor.
Yeah.
They know the difference. One of the best keys is ask questions. Well, how do I ask questions? And why don't people, Larry? Word starts with a P. One of the worst things in
No,
the
it's
Bible.
pride. They know everything.
Can't tell them that.
I got it.
Mm.
Meanwhile, they still hitting that middle class wall. I got it. We're gonna keep doing it this way instead of establishing some relationships and asking questions in that circle of people who can actually teach you.
Yeah, well, Larry, I hear what you're saying, but when my cousin Greg, man, you know, he did what what you're talking about, and you know, he lost everything, man, or he know his such and such was such and such. Hold on. Hold on, man. You know what's funny? I actually heard that from some people. I'll share it before with the AJ, where you know somebody in the family tried to compare me and what I was doing to a distant cousin of ours who had a drug issue. By the way, I got to say that part because that's important, to, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, because you know your cousin, he tried to do what you're doing, and then you know it didn't work out for him. So, I mean, good luck, bless you though. Good luck to you, but what? You gonna compare me to a crackhead for real? Thank you. I mean, what? Okay, protecting me by comparing me to a crackhead. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate the encouragement. You know, I think it's fascinating, Larry, that, you know, we help a lot of people who are over that barrier already.
Mm-hmm.
We help a lot of people who are maybe approaching the barrier or trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, it's the people right at it. Man, what's crazy is if we get rid of that P word, pride.
Yeah.
And we're willing to be open to learn. Because what the faith it took for you to get to where you're at, you're gonna need a different kind of faith, understanding, and education and trust and process to get to the next level.
Yeah. And it's like you have to really find out what the fear is. And I think with anybody, the fear is, like you were saying, losing it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going back to that whole thing with the time. You lose it all, you feel like you just wasted your whole life. Where that's where I believe like life insurance comes into effect, because everybody, you know, whether you have a family, whether or not, your mindset is you want to do something important to be able to leave a legacy to your next generations below, or whatever that may be, your kids, nieces, nephews, your own community that you mentor up and everything like that. But you don't want to take the full on risk, because you don't want to, if that happens, that you blank on it, you have nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where insurance comes in, because if by bare minimum you have something set in stone where you can risk everything, especially if you're still in your income producing years where you're still building up money, where if you're in your retirement years, it's a little bit more risky, because now you don't want to go back into the force. You don't want to actually create more income by, you know, doing something else. If you're in your income producing years, you have your blanket where you have whatever happens. Let's say if I just go out, blow everything, it all fails, and then I pass away, at least that life insurance policy is still leaving a generation, right? You give yourself a step above to eliminate that fear of, if all goes down, I'm leaving nothing. Well, in this case, if all goes down, I'm still leaving something. And I think that is kind of like the little piece to unlock, is unlocking that fear, right? Because even from my own background story, right? I had a grandfather that was well off, right? He came from Portugal, moved to Toronto. He flipped his condo to be able to move to a little smaller town, worked at a factory, was able to use that flip to buy his own house, paid off car. But where he got stuck into it was that he used money as a saving tool to lead to a generation, right? Everything was stored in the bank, the old school Portuguese mentality. Of course, when the time came when he passed away, of course, he left, a great inheritance to my mom and her brothers and sisters. However, in that period of his retirement years, he was really penny pinching, because he didn't have any other income producing other than his Social Security, right? So he had this money in the bank, but he didn't want to touch it, because that was his inheritance to give, to show for his work. Where if he had an insurance policy that was geared towards his whole life, he could already have that saying, okay, I can use the money that's in the bank to be able to use for real estate properties, for farming, for whatever it may be. And if my risk blows up, I still have something to give my kids, to say, oh, my dad left me something. But it was that whole keep it in the bank to give away. And I see a lot of people do that, right? Like you said, it's that middle class barrier where it's, I have money in the bank, but I don't want to spend it, because that's what I'm going to be given down. And if I spend that money, if I pass away, my kids or my wife are going to look at me different, because I risked it all and left nothing.
Whew. Man, it's hard to follow that, because I remember you going through that process.
Yeah.
And the challenges of all that. So the beauty in it, but the challenges in it at the same time.
Right.
And, it makes me think about this situation here, right? So let's talk to Johnny, okay? And I tell Johnny, here's an investment you can make, $1,200 a year, okay? And you take care of this $1,200 a year. At a particular point, years down the line, $1 million plus will be paid out. Key language. You put $1,200 away a month. I didn't say how long, for a long time, years. At some point, guaranteed though, at some point, $1 million plus will be paid out. Stop, period. Who wouldn't take that? Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed. $1,200 a month. You know, all year. Sorry, $100 a month, whatever. $1,200 a year. Whatever the number is. $1 million. Everyone would take that. Here's where the Red Sea parts. When you add a couple words in there. You put in $1,200 a year for a long time. And at a point, $1 million will be paid out when you die. Those three words changes everyone from whatever word to selfish real quick. It's illuminating. Because as soon as you realize that $1 million isn't for you, people check out sometimes. What if that $1 million was for you? Would you check out? That's really where it gets serious, man. And that's where your heart is exposed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart is exposed. You know, I've seen people over my career that have said, I mean, this is harsh, really harsh, but my kids got it. I've heard that. They good. My kids are smart. They can figure it out. Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? You know? But when you're looking at, it's like, man, I could put in $1,200 a year, even $12,000 a year, and my family get millions of dollars. Man, you should get just as, if not more, excited about that than to say, hey, if I put this in for 30, 40 years, I'm going to get millions of dollars.
People primarily doing it anyways. If you think about it. unless you're blowing all your bank accounts, right? You're
right.
At the end of the day, you're basically practically doing that.
That's a good trade.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then I'm gonna go there, Woods, real quick before we wrap up. In certain cultures, we wonder why there is a lack of transfer of wealth. I just said it the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
Because we're living for self. We're getting the bag for self. And we're not setting up the next. And I'm not, exposing, the laundry or pull, what I'm saying, or telling the company our business, but this is like obvious information. You can just look. Mm-hmm. If you roam the earth long enough, you're going to see it. So the way we see it, Larry, I think what we're trying to do is help people get out of those mental barriers, identify themselves in this conversation. I hope we rattled someone's mindset a little bit to say, you know what, that's me. Let me talk to these guys. Let me learn a little something. Let me go on a journey, go down the rabbit hole to change my mindset to get to the next level, regardless of where you're at, lower, middle, upper middle, lower middle, upper, whatever. There are people who are in the upper trying to get higher.
Oh. Yes.
And they know I need to learn some more stuff. So if anything, I would say to anyone who's listening, be willing to grow, be willing to learn, to reprogram this noggin we have up here to say, you know what, clock is ticking. I better learn something before time run out. And apply it. Larry, last words, my friend.
There are many ways you can research everything that we discussed here today. Many ways. Mm-hmm. I would implore you, if you're trying to get to the top of the middle class and past the middle class, do your research and allow your brain and allow your ways to be stretched. And allow yourself to be detached emotionally to currency, because money is currency, and currency was designed to move. Hence, currency. Current doesn't stay still. It moves.
It moves. That's right. It's in the word. That's it. Love it. AJ, anything you want to add, man, before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Just want to, empower everybody to start looking at things to be able to secure your fears. Like I was just talking about, secure your fears. That way you can take risks, have a higher risk tolerance to be able to pass that barrier wall, right? Because if you don't, you're always going to have that barrier wall, the fear of, man, can I really do this? Where if you already have a safety blanket in place, it employs you to be able to use money as a tool rather than, like you said, a commodity that you're holding on to. So take it little by little, like we all been saying, right? If it's just a little small life insurance policy, whether it's just a small, whatever it may be, take the risk today.
That's it. Love it. With that said, hope this has been impactful, empowering, educational, and hopefully maybe woke you up a little bit. I don't know. We love you. It's all in love. It's all in educating. And we have passion. Please do not confuse our passion for frustration. It truly is the fact that we love what we do. We want to help. And we want people to make changes in a positive direction and remove all the negativity, man, because I'm telling you, once you do it, you'll never regret it. Promise you that. So with that said, from the crew at AMG Podcast, AMG crew, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Good Friday and Resurrection Day weekend. We will see y'all on the next pod. See ya.
Peace.